Hey guys, okay, so now I'm going to do a Pittsburgh Penguins versus Washington Capitals preview for round 2, and then after this video I'm going to do an overview for the Game 7 tomorrow in Toronto. And before the video starts, I'm just going to say RIP to all the victims of the Toronto van attack yesterday in Toronto on Yonge and Finch Street, or Avenue. That was like really depressing to hear. It makes me want to cry because I hate hearing stories like that. But I hear they're doing like really well in Toronto. They're all hashtag Toronto strong. So I'm really glad that they're like getting through it and everyone's helping each other out. It makes me a bit happier. Of course, still sad for all the that died, but just thought I'd give a little tribute because earlier today that wasn't on my mind. I was just thinking of sports, but now I remember that. So yeah, I hope it's RIP to all the victims. So now moving into the actual preview. So I'm gonna start off with like round 1, how round 1 went. I hope this isn't too high. Is it too high? So first I'm gonna do how like Pittsburgh did in round 1. So game 1 at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had a home ice advantage against Philly. So in game 1, Pittsburgh very kind of convincingly 7-0 win. Whatever, a 1-0 series lead. Then Philly comes into Pittsburgh in game 2 and then beats them 5-1. Okay. A tie series going back to Philly. What'll happen now? So Pittsburgh comes into Philly and wins game 3 and 4, 5-1 and 5-0. So they scored 10 goals in Philly in 2 games. So they took a 3-1 series lead back to Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh would not end it there because Philly did end up winning 4-2 to extend the series to 6. And then in game 6, where Philly had a 2-goal lead, they eventually lost by 3, an 8-5 loss in Philadelphia would send their fans home sad. After having a 2-goal lead, they should have like kept it and they shouldn't have allowed so many goals. But I know the Battle of Pennsylvania was like really high scoring, I heard. So now Pittsburgh goes for 28. And then Pittsburgh goes against 13. The goal scorers for the Penguins. So Jake Guentzel had 6. Jake Guentzel and Sidney Crosby had 6 in the playoffs so far. Brian Rust and Evgeny Malkin with 3 goals. Carl Hagelin and Patrick Hornquist with 2 goals each. And then Derek Brassard, Brian Dumoulin, Justin Schultz, Phil Kessel, Chris Letang, and Riley Sheehan, all with 1 goal. Crosby had a natural hat trick in game 1. Crosby had game in for okay, I don't know what I wrote here, but something Crosby, and then Guentzel 4 goals in game 6 and natural hat trick as well. So now moving on to Washington's round 1. So game 1 at Washington, 4-3 Columbus overtime victory made it 1-0 Columbus. Game 2 in Washington, 5-4 Columbus Blue Jackets overtime victory again to make it a 2-0 win. So Columbus is up 2-0. They have a chance to win the series if they win the next 2 games at home. Do they? No. So it goes back to Columbus, and Washington wins in double overtime 3-2 to make the series 2-1, which that was the turning point, and you'll see why. And then game 4, a chance for Columbus to take a 3-1 lead or for Washington to tie the series. A 4-1 Washington victory would tie the series at 2, heading back to Washington for game 5. So game 5 comes along in Washington. A 4-3 overtime victory for Washington would make it 3-2 Caps. So in order to survive now, Columbus had to win. Did they? No. So game 6 comes along in Columbus, and Washington wins 6-3. And they took it in 6 games. They were down 2, and they took it in 6. So they won. Columbus ended up losing 4 straight. Washington ended up winning 4 straight after losing 2 straight. So a 6-3 win to take the series 4-2. So that's how they advanced. Washington goes for 24, and then goals against 18. The goal scorers for them now: Alex Ovechkin with 5, Evgeny Kuznetsov with 4, TJ Oshie with 3. Devontae Smith-Pelly and Tom Wilson, Lars Eller and Nicholas Backstrom with 2 goals, and then Jay Beagle, John Carlson, Dmitry Orlov, and Chandler Stevenson with 1 goal each. So now moving into the actual more of the preview. So for the third time, let me put this over here. So for the third time in a row, the Penguins and Capitals meet in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Though it's been a mostly one-sided affair, Pittsburgh, of course, has won the previous two postseason meetings en route to claiming the Stanley Cup both years. But the franchise rivalry goes even further back than that. This is the fourth playoff meeting between the two in the Ovechkin-Crosby era, and prior to 2005, Pittsburgh and Washington met an additional 7 times, with the Pens coming out on top in 6 of them. The only time the Capitals have triumphed over their division rivals was in 1994, when the Caps won a first-round series in 6 games. This is also the third straight season in which Washington won the Metropolitan Division crown, though this year's is the most surprising. The Caps were all in on last season's playoff run, then lost a ton of skill in the offseason and were expected to take a step back from contending. This season brought underwhelming underlying numbers and developed a goaltending controversy between a struggling Braden Holtby and backup Philip Grubauer, which seems to may have been resolved in the playoffs. The Penguins are the bizarro Capitals, a team without a President's Trophy, but 3 Crosby-era Stanley Cups instead. This year the Penguins are chasing history as they try to become the first team since the dynastic New York Islanders to win 3 consecutive championships. It didn't always look like the Pens would even get this far, though. The Pens allowed 50 goals in 13 October games. There were 28th in even strength goals through the first 2 months of the season, and Matt Murray struggled with a .904 save percentage as of December 31st, which was 42nd best of all time, or at the time. But it all started to get back on track in 2018. Pittsburgh was 13th in goals against from January 1st onward and became a top 10 team in even strength. Oh shit. Lisa, is that you?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I noticed that my sister came down. So, they became a top 10 team from January 1st onward. Became a top 10 team in even strength goals in the 2018 portion of the schedule, with Murray improving to a .912 save percentage in the second half as well. While that was still a below average mark, it is somewhat stabilized a troubling trend in the first half. Make no mistake, as has been the case in these series since 2005, the show is all about Crosby versus Ovechkin. While the Pens captain is heavily decorated and has won everything conceivable in his hockey career, Ovechkin hasn't seen round 3 of the Stanley Cup playoffs yet. The greatest goal scorer of his generation, and perhaps in NHL history, has a huge monkey to get off his back, and is looking forward to the challenge ahead. So now going to offense, defense, power numbers. So for Pittsburgh, their offense is 9.12, which is first in the league, compared to Washington's offense 5.62, which is 13th. Pittsburgh's defense is 3.995, 19th in the league, compared to Washington's 3.56, 23rd in the league. And then Pittsburgh's power number is 6th in the league at 6.53, while Washington's is 19th in the league at 4.59. Moving toward team stats, Pittsburgh on the power play is 26.2%, which is first in the league, compared to 22.5% for Washington, which is 7th. Pittsburgh has an 80% penalty kill, which is 17th, compared to 80.3% penalty kill for Washington, which is 15th. Pittsburgh has scored 270 goals, 3rd in the league, and then 248 goals allowed, which is 20th. While Washington has scored 256 goals, which is 9th, and then have 238 goals allowed, which is 16th. Their head-to-head record against each other is Pittsburgh 2-2-0, and then for Washington 2-2-0 as well. Now we're going to the round 1 strengths for Pittsburgh. As the highest scoring team in round 1, offense was a strength for the Penguins, although a large chunk of that can be attributed to the weak goaltending in Philadelphia's net. In this sense, it's hard to get a read on what the Penguins actually did well, and what was the result of a distressed opponent. But by now, we know the Penguins win on the backs of their biggest 3 stars, Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Phil Kessel, who they sometimes spread across 3 lines, and the deadline addition of Derek Brassard gives Pittsburgh its best 1-2-3 punch down the middle since Jordan Staal left in 2012. Crosby is a leading playoff point getter, and he's boosted line mate Jake Guentzel yet again as the 23-year-old is out of the gate as a goal-a-game player. And Malkin has 5 points in 5 games to go with 15 shots, and the fact Kessel scored just once in the opening round series only means he's due for more. The Pens can create matchup nightmares when they have game breakers spread out over 3 different lines. The most promising outcome for Pittsburgh against the Flyers was its continued success at 5-on-5. After becoming one of the best even-strength teams in the second half of the season, salvaging a terrible first half, the Pens were the highest-scoring team at evens in round 1. Now the strengths for Washington for round 1. The Penguins' power play may have been the best in the regular season, but Washington's conversion rate of 33.3% paced the league in round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Blue Jackets handed the Capitals the most man advantage opportunities of anyone in the first round, and they earned 5 more goals on the power play than did Columbus, the biggest difference of any first round series. John Carlson was a key contributor from the back end, and of course Ovechkin was the driver up front. After falling behind 2-0 in the series, Ovechkin guaranteed the Capitals would return home with the series all tied up, which they did. And his 2 goals in Game 6 gave the Capitals a lead which they couldn't relinquish. They wouldn't relinquish. This guy's a playoff player. To be honest, I hate Washington, but I mean, they are a good team and they do deserve to go forward and not just losing in the second round every year. And I really don't like Pittsburgh, and I really do not want Pittsburgh to win, despite them having Canadian players. I'm Canadian, but it's an American team, and I do not want a 3-peat for Pittsburgh. So no. So yeah, I'm just playing with a fidget box thing, by the way, a fidget cube. So the Penguins' X factor. So with Marc-Andre Fleury in Vegas, Murray no longer has a high caliber backup fully capable of assuming number 1 duties in case of injury or poor play. The safety net is gone. Murray's play has been sporadic all season, and even in round 1 he was up and down. The 23-year-old may have earned 2 shutouts against the Flyers, but he also allowed more than 3 goals in 2 of the games and was nearly pulled in Game 6. There is some question about his health too. Murray was seen by local reporters consulting with the Pens' assistant athletic trainer last week. The goalie said he was fine, but given his play, it's a situation worth watching. The Capitals' X factor. We have to take the goalie in Washington too, given the offensive potency of the Penguins and the fact Holtby wasn't the Caps' starter in either of Game 1 or 2 versus Columbus. Holtby's .907 save percentage this season was by far the worst of his NHL career, and in January and February his save rate dropped below .900. This led to more starts for Grubauer, but since wrestling the job back from him against Columbus, Holtby's playoff save percentage is a very respectable .932, the second best mark of all advancing Eastern Conference goalies, behind only Tampa's Andrei Vasilevsky. If Holtby is back on top of his game as one of the world's elite, he will be the key for Washington to exercise their demons. Or to yeah. So now playoff team leaders, goals, assists, points. For Pittsburgh, it's a Jake Gensel, 6 goals, 7 assists, 13 points. Sidney Crosby, 6 goals, 7 points, 7 assists, 13 points. Chris Letang, 1 goal, 6 assists, which is 7 points. For Washington, it's John Carlson, 1 goal, 8 assists, and 9 points. Alex Ovechkin, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. Evgeny Kuznetsov, 4 goals, 4 assists, and 8 points. And my final prediction is going to be the Pens in 6 or 7. Washington does have home ice in this series, though, I should say. And the NHL just released an hour or 2 ago, the schedule for round 2, except for Tampa Bay because they don't know the opponent yet. If it's not showing up. Okay, cool. But let me see here, sorry. Okay, yeah, it's not showing up quite yet, but I know that the series starts on Thursday or Friday. On Thursday, that's when the second round is starting. It's been confirmed. I just don't know if Washington plays. So Game 1 will be in Washington, either Thursday or Friday when the Penguins come to town. So honestly, I am gonna vote for Washington in this one because I do want Pittsburgh to lose for once. And Washington is a good team. They do deserve to advance. So I'm gonna go with, I want to win. I'm gonna say Washington, who I do think it could go either way. But assuming the Pens have been amazing in the past two years, they've gone past them both times and eventually winning the cup both times. It's hard to say. But I mean, they don't have Fleury now, so now it's harder to say. So I'm going to say Pens or Caps in 7, but I'm going to say it'll go 7, okay? That'll be my prediction. I hope you guys like this video. Thanks for watching. Another video should be coming up shortly after this one. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below.